is going on, everybody? Welcome in to the North End Podcast, episode 307. My name is Zach Graham, your host here in the North End, joined, as always, by my good buddy. He's on record as my best friend. His name is Ian Michaud, and we call him E, sitting here on a Thursday. Beautiful Austin, Texas, coming off a loss. I saw you, I don't think you're intending this, but as your little intro here for the YouTube viewers, you're holding up 5-0 defeat at the hands of San Diego FC. How you feeling, my friend?
I'm not worried about it. I'm not worried about any of that. More shit on the news.
Hey, come on. We just got pumped 5 goose for the 5th loss of the campaign. Shut the fuck up, E. That was basically what we did for the last 15 minutes of this match. How are you feeling?
I'm good, man. Obviously, last night did not go as anyone really wanted it to. Gonna have plenty of thoughts on it, but I do. That's how I feel. I am not worried.
You're only half joking.
Yeah, I am not worried about it. I'm not, so I will elaborate on that a little further. I know the fan base and a lot of people are really upset after last night and what transpired. I get that. I think with a little more context provided here, we can feel a little bit better about this and then just wash ourselves clean, purified after Saturday when we're walking out of the Q2, just reborn, and everyone we can party, everyone will be happy. It's going to go down. So that's where I'm at. I'm looking forward to Saturday. Not looking forward to talking about this 5-0 ass whooping here, but I am very excited about Saturday. I was thinking about today when I was taking my my post wake up nap that we had to get to Saturday. I was excited. Got to get through one more full day here, and then we'll be there.
Did you say your post wake up nap?
Yeah, you got to have one of those in there.
What a life you're living, my friend. And I do want to note for the YouTube viewers, we did not plan on wearing the same shirt today, so I'm going to keep mine down low on the screen right here. I literally changed out of a different shirt that is the same. It's a different shirt, but the same style that I wore on the last episode. To be like, I got to mix it up. I can't have these people thinking I'm wearing the same shirt 4 days in a row. And
you ain't got no style, motherfucker.
Yeah, you want to wear my vest? So despite the somewhat cheery intro, I'm sure I will get revved up and you'll come along with me for some anger as we go here, E. But really, I just think we got to keep our fucking powder dry here. Because if you do not win on Saturday, there will be a classic North End explosion for the ages, I think, on Sunday's episode. So just trying to keep that perspective.
Yeah, no, we would be setting things on fire. It would be bad. Yeah,
it's not wood. We will be.
Yeah.
Our own personal property, of course. Oh man! Before we get into the rest, look, it's going to be a fun show.
Yeah.
Stay with us here. On episode 307, we're going to recap last night's beatdown at the hands of San Diego, but we'll look ahead to that Saturday return to the Q. Lowly Sporting KC coming to town off a win, of course. We'll do the same for the second team with their midweek action and Sunday return to Palmer Field and a little bit of the nonsense to clean up at the end. Before we get into all of that, remind you, as we always do, you can support the show financially for free just by downloading the audio version of our episodes wherever you get your podcasts. So you go into Apple, Spotify, wherever you get your audio pods, you toggle on auto downloads. That'll support us in that fashion going forward, and you won't have to think about it again. If you want to go the extra mile, rate and review the show wherever you get your pods. And if you are watching on the YouTube channel, hit the subscribe button. It does help us grow the show, and you can hit the bell to know when a live stream pops up or a new episode goes live. Of course, here on episode 307, hit the thumbs up, like the video, help us battle the YouTube algorithm overlords, atone for your sins. Austin FC, wash yourselves clean in the waters of the North End. So I do want to touch on this, of course, because we have to. This is our shit. But want to kind of push the more lengthy, in-depth discussion on the salary release to Sunday's episode when we don't have a second team match to recap. We don't have a first team match to preview on the back of Saturday's recap. But for the sickos who are so inclined, the MLS Players Association did drop the spring 2026 salaries on Tuesday. The biggest news, I think, from a roster build standpoint is that, look, man, he did it, E. I mean, I know after we started the season, we got the roster release, in terms of the roster build, and both Ilie and John Bell were on that senior roster. My dreams were all but dashed. And I mentioned either last episode or episode before, I was like, hey, there's still like the small hope that one of those guys is on a supplemental, and like Shimmy Pajeta is coming in with an open slot and we might not have to move somebody out. Bang! Both of those guys eligible to be bought down to the supplemental roster. So you can, of course, go to the northendpodcast.com right now. All of our sheets are updated for you, including listing those supplemental roster slots, 21 through 31 instead of 1 through 11. We'll discuss some of that on Sunday and some theories around these roster slots and how they may be maneuvered between now and the end of the summer transfer window. Of course, that's salary cap information available both on the cap sheet page and then our year-by-year depth charts. And, of course, if you just want to see this data from the Players Association, you can go to mlsplayers.org. Up top on resources, you click salary guide, and they've got a nice little searchable table here, along with a downloadable PDF version of the guide. But if you're just looking for how it relates to Austin FC, northendpodcast.com is the place to be. So I want to talk about, obviously, the supplemental possibilities for these guys, what that potentially means. We've got some listener questions as well pertaining to this, so we will get to all of that more in depth on Sunday. Is there anything you wanted to add about the salary release right now before we move into our San Diego recap?
Just that I'm excited to get into it, and when we do get into it on Sunday, we'll be in a much better mood, and the conversation will be good, because you're right, this is our shit. We're always excited for salary cap Christmas, and I'll just, I'm not surprised that Roto cooked this up where Ilie and John are both eligible there. This is not surprising to me, and I'm glad that we got that confirmation, and that you can be proven right, as you were.
I love being right, E.
Look.
So we will circle back around on that stuff on Sunday. Let's go ahead and get into our San Diego recap, E, because I think we started to get an inkling of what was going down here on Wednesday morning when Brandon Vasquez posted to his Instagram story. I think some pretty good photography skills here, catching that sunrise coming through the Performance Center. But, Brandon posting from the Performance Center, on game day morning, the team's already in San Diego. Okay, this guy's left behind, little injury management, not going to play tonight. And then you start going through, I started going through the clips the team had posted from the travel and stuff, and I did not see Danny, but that doesn't necessarily mean, right? There's no picture from Danny at the Performance Center. He ends up also not being in the team. And again, when this lineup comes out, dude, we get it. And even through the beatdown last night, it's we get it. It's all of this is contingent on you guys getting 3 points on Saturday. So I understand what they were trying to do, but the execution of it was disgusting.
Yeah. Not mad at BV staying home, not mad at Danny staying home. Get this lineup. Obviously, what's up. I think immediately, because you're over here, we're playing some darts and shit. And immediately it was just oh, okay. Strap in.
Yeah. Yeah, because that lineup, for those that didn't get to see the game or wanted a reminder, Stuver in net. Backline, John Gallagher at right back, Svatak and John Bell, the center back pairing with Jean Kolmanich on the left. That midfield foursome, I guess you could say, is Rosales on the left, Dubrsarsky and Sabovic in the middle, with Facu Torres out there on his customary right side. Azuni under CJ Fodre, the hometown kid, getting the start up top. Bench was Owen Wolf, Mateo Djordjevic, Irvin Torres, Christian Ramirez, Micah Burton, Damian Las, Guilherme Biru, Mikel Dessler, and Ilie Sanchez. So you see Ilie and Dessler and Biru and Ramirez all rotated out of this starting lineup. And look, man, I at no point until it happened, or probably until we saw the first goal or two, but at no point before they kicked off, did I think that this was going to go as poorly or worse than San Jose 3 fucking weeks ago.
Yeah, for sure. And I mean, to me, this is the biggest, thing that we can get into is this lineup right here, right now, right? Like we talked about Dessler playing 3 straight 90s since out of forever that he's been here. Guilherme obviously putting in a ton of time. You have the BHI hamstring injury. Johnny just getting, we know we can run him into the ground. And then we have the most dreaded pairing ever in the midfield with Duber and Sabo. Poor Facu out there with this lineup. I did like the CJ start. Fine with the Joe Rowe. I'm not mad at Nico about this lineup. I know there's a lot of people that are super upset about it. I've seen Nico out plenty of places now and everything. And it's just like, I'm not mad about what he rolled out here besides a few things, right? And it starts with Savage. Because this dude isn't a dude that you're going to put into a lineup and he's going to potentially earn you a single point or 3 points. He doesn't make an impact like that in anything that we've ever seen him play in. Mm-hmm. And Irvin Torres is behind him. And Irvin Torres is theoretically part of the plan moving forward. But Sartavovich is not. I will be stunned, shocked if he is not bought out or somehow transferred in this upcoming window. He's not going to be part of the team anymore. And rightfully so. It is clear as day that this dude is not MLS quality. He cannot play meaningful minutes in a meaningful MLS game. And this is the shit that you're going to get out of him. And I know we're probably going to have to get into his roster figure on Sunday here.
Oh, that's one of the top bullet points.
Yeah. So like starting him is like, I want to see what we can get out of Irvin. And I understand, how far you're going to lean into this kind of rotation. Like, is it all the way where it's like, yeah, we're starting Damian Loss. You know what I mean? Is it like we're starting Irvin, we're starting Micah, players like that. I was fine with the CJ start, happy for him to get a start there in his hometown. And, for the beginning of this game, I thought he was a bit dangerous and impactful in some moments there. But I can't be mad at this lineup with what's going on, right? This is you have Saturday looming. That's going to be your third game in 7 days here.
Yep.
You were able to secure a point versus Minnesota, which I think was huge because I'm remembering back to, I believe, Ari's asked us a question about how many points would you feel good about? What's the least amount of points you would feel good about from X remaining games? I can't remember when this question was presented, but I do think it was right before the St. Louis match.
I believe it was right after Houston. Yeah. So we had gotten that second win and then we had the 5 games remaining, right? 2 St. Louis, Sporting, Minnesota, San Diego.
Yes. And I was like, you have to beat St. Louis twice and you have to beat SKC at home. Minimum 9 points for me to feel good about that. That goal is still there. It's still there, right? You have the potential to get 4 points out of this week. 3 games where you played on the road at San Diego, on the road at Minnesota, and then you have SKC looming here Sunday. Or Saturday. So the mission is still available. We just didn't complete this little fucking side quest that we could have got done here with San Diego, who, to their credit, was absolutely in a must-win game. And this was essentially their Sporting Kansas City moment for the remaining part of this first half of the season, where it's like you got to get 3 points or you have to beat Austin on a midweek game after they're coming off a shorter amount of rest than San Diego was. And, we're getting into some discussions with some people and everything. It's like where San Diego's sitting at the table, their recent run of form. You have to take into account that in that recent run of form, they were the recipients of 4 red cards.
Yeah.
So, like, those losses.
40% of those games, they were down a man.
So, like, they're down a man. They're dealing with the Chucky stuff and everything. They had to win this matchup. And I think San Diego is closer to Minnesota in regard to caliber, talent, how the team actually looks, than they are to Sporting Kansas City. And if you're just looking at the table, that is not what that will reflect. So, like, we've seen constantly, and we've had this narrative around the team where it's like we can play up to competition, we can play down to competition. And, like, I don't necessarily think that San Diego is down to competition given the players they have. They have one of the 10 best players in the league, and that might be, extending it farther than it needs to be. Like, Andre Jair is one of the best players in the league.
He was the non-Messi MVP last year.
Correct.
He was a runner-up, and it's fucking messy. He had 19 goals and 19 assists last year, and he hasn't slowed down. That is 6-6 at least. I don't know if he got any secondary assists last night, but
yeah.
And San Diego, dude, if you've watched them at all this year, especially with 11 men on the field, they're still a solid team. Yep. And it's like you were talking about that group of the rest, right, behind those top four that we think is, in their own tier at the top of the West, like. San Diego being the top of that next group should not surprise anybody. And they are probably, them and Minnesota are the two teams that had a chance to break into that top four. Yeah. So, this is not a bad team that you're facing at all.
And all that to say, you should not have lost 5-0. Yes. Got absolutely embarrassed. But...
And that brings, I just want to come back to what you said earlier, because you were like, I don't blame Nico as we're going through the lineup. Just wanted to clarify, because I definitely blame him for what we see on the field. But I don't, if you're just talking about how he rotated the lineup, I don't have much animosity there either. Is that what you were getting at, or just you don't blame him really on the night?
Oh, no, not on the night, for sure. I don't think you can, get away with that when it's a 5-0 loss, but I absolutely do not blame him for this lineup. And as I said, it's not Nico's fault that Stavovich is not an MLS caliber player. It's not Nico's fault that Komanich is lazy. He's lazy. There's so many plays that point to this dude just not giving a fuck. So that's not Nico's fault.
It's either that or it's mentally weak in terms of just your fortitude in pushing through the moments where, when the going gets tough.
Yep.
Right.
And there was nobody out there last night to kind of settle people down. And there was Ilya's not out there to be okay, come on, let's settle in here after the second goal comes or whatever. So all that to say, it is inexcusable to get blown out 5-0 for sure. Now, this recent stretch where we've had the Louisville loss, the San Jose loss, and then this loss on top of it, leaves a really shit taste in your mouth. But I understand the rotation. I understand the approach. You have to win Saturday, even if there's a meteor strike. No matter what happens, you
said Raptor attack last time, right?
You could give up 2 own goals. You know what I mean? Josh Wolf could run on the field, score on us. You still have to win that game, no matter what happens.
Well, since I'm sure we will circle back on almost all of those talking points as we get through this one, let's go ahead and jump in, E. And it's fast and furious, right at Austin here in the 4th minute. It's Kieran Sargent. And, to talk about their lineup just for a moment, Ingvarsson, hot. Dreyer, MVP level guy. Valakari, extremely solid. McVeigh and Dua pairing at center back. Above average at worst.
The Dua kid is legit.
Bombino, killer.
Yep.
But then you're also starting Pedro Soma, who's 20 years old with no career goals. You're starting, David Vasquez, 19 years old, no career goals. Kieran Sargent here, right? 23 years old, a little bit older, but still not a guy that they are even playing any minutes if they are fully healthy, from what I know about this team. So it's Sargent here playing a ball down that line on the left to Mighton, who's in behind John Gallagher. And Mighton fires across right to the top of the 6, where Marcus Ingvarsson cuts right across the face of John Bell, and he redirects that service just wide of the target out for a goal kick. But that was a bet for, from what I remember, the first time that John Bell, since we got both Johns out there last night, the first time that Bell is called into action, that he's just, again, cut right across the face. We're there's multiple sports. You don't want to do that.
Yep.
It was just, a sign of the things to come. And San Diego could have had 2 goals last night. They could have legitimately had 8.
Yeah, for sure. And John Bell with a poor start here, man. And maybe some lingering stuff with the head injury or whatever. That is a short period of time.
There was no concussion diagnosed.
Still, I'm just trying to make an excuse.
Look.
His head was not in the game.
Right now,
yeah, I was going to say. His head was not in the game. That's for sure. He was not ready to play.
Yeah. Well, 8th minute. It's not just a long bout of San Diego possession here.
Yeah.
They've had it the whole time.
Yeah.
And in this moment, they're methodically building through that Austin defense back to front, and eventually they get the ball to Bombino out on his right side. And Dreyer checks back towards him, and as he does that, Valakari takes his place. And this is just one of many moments on the night where you see that fluid movement from the San Diego side in the midfield and really overall in their offense when they settle into that final third.
Mm-hmm.
Like, this is just movement that we don't have, we rarely see, and hasn't been a thing here for 4 years now.
Yeah.
And it was still just like 2/3 of a season where we really saw that consistently. But Dreyer checks back towards him. Valakari takes his place. Bombino hits a pass towards Dreyer or hits towards Valakari rather, because Valakari's now into that open space vacated by Dreyer. And Valakari's dummy here to let it roll on to Ingvartsen is just super sharp. Yep. And that allows Ingvartsen to just touch it through right back to Valakari in behind Bell and Svatak. And that midfielder's got all the time in the world, man. And to be honest, he doesn't play the best ball that we've seen in here, but he's got 2 runners, and Austin has 1 John Gallagher back there. And the David Vasquez slides down, redirects this cross on frame, and it bounces off Johnny G, but still trickles over the line before he can clear it. And thanks to our buddy Turbo Trevor for highlighting the possession numbers at this point, because as I mentioned, they had it the whole time. That's not too far from the truth. Through 8 minutes, 97% possession for San Diego.
Yeah, and I think I said last night at the start of the game, I was like, get ready for them to have the ball 80% of the time, and maybe, before the avalanche happens, my thought process is smash and grab, 1-0. We're going to get outshot 32-7 here. Let's just
you said Stuber Masterclass.
Stuber Masterclass. We get out of there 1-0, the optimist in me here. But yes, they are picking Austin apart here, doing literally whatever they want. And when you get a goal like this in the first 10 minutes of this game, and you have the lineup and the pieces that you have out there, you're done. Yeah. You're done, and like, I think that kind of shows up. I don't think the team quits in the first half.
No, but that came much later.
Yeah, it was clear that this was going to be a long, long night for us. I think I texted Uncle Dave, I was just like, strap in, man. It's going to be a long one.
Yeah. I think that was after the second, but even after that, this first one goes in, man, we're like, oh boy.
Yeah, I think that was collective. Just like,
Yeah. When it continues, it's 2 minutes later in the 10th. Bombino rips a shot just right at Stuber from outside the 18. Kolmanich just sagging off of him there to all the space in the world for Luka to get that shot off. But then Austin goes the other way and like showing the ability to play soccer for the first time in the game. And quickly builds down this left side. Kolmanich receives a ball on the overlap from Rosales, and he's into the San Diego final third. So Jean stings right across the area. CJ can't quite get a touch with his noggin, and the ball sails harmlessly out of bounds. But again, that was like the first sign of life. And I was like, okay, like maybe we're going to play a game here tonight.
Yeah. I mean, this is a fantastic,
it's a good ball. Yeah.
Fantastic ball from Kolmanich. He puts any sort of loft on this. It's getting scooped up by the keeper, or defenders have time to recover. Just missed CJ by like a half a second here. But this is a really good ball. And to your point, encouraging response from Austin to get something going where we've actually touched the ball now.
Yeah. Well, it's 2 minutes later. San Diego's back on the attack and like already styling on us.
Yep.
Because Mighton takes on 3 defenders entering the 18 on the left side. He's able to split through them all. And then he serves a pass to Anders Dreyer, who takes a shot, but that's blocked away. Home team stays in possession. The ball ends up with Sargent back on the left. And Sargent lifts ones toward the spot where Vasquez tries to scissor kick this one, volley it out of the air, and like sends it over. But dude did not miss by much. Like that was not far away from just being a wonder goal. And again, keep in mind, this kid just scored his first career goal at the first team level. Like these guys are feeling themselves way too fucking early.
I mean, they've had the ball the whole time. They're picking us apart. They're really doing whatever they want. And like, yes,
no fault to them.
Yep, for sure. And I don't know what you could potentially do there to kind of disrupt that. Maybe a hard foul, something, try to get reset. But it wasn't like you had any bouts of possession where these dudes just couldn't be on the front foot and trying to feel themselves in a moment like this. And, to his credit, that Vasquez kid, gets his first goal and played a really good game.
14th minute, there's a wayward pass here by Bombino. He's intending this for Pedro Soma at the back, but that leaves the ball just trickling right into the path of Facundo Torres. And Facu rushes to meet it before Soma can recover to the ball. And Torres does get there, but his shot is saved by Ferri, who I did not know was 19 years old.
Yeah.
like 5 years younger than Damian. They got a player in Fari, I think. It's good kick save here by Fari. And you said it at the time. I don't think I differ now. Facu's got to score that. Like, it was a nice little kick save, but like, highest paid player on the team. Got to do better.
I expect my DP to score that. If this was Mirtu, people would be losing their fucking minds about this. You have to score this. And like, in general, I expect my DP to make this look easy. I expect you to bury this in the corner of the net where the goalkeeper doesn't even have a chance. Yeah. And then on top of that, when you add the context where it's like, if you're going to find any way to get a point here in this game, this has to go in, and you have to give your team that boost and that elevated lift where it's like, okay, we have a chance here. You breathe a little life back into you. And now, obviously you don't get this, and then here it comes.
Yeah, and like, if you score that, do you win or even draw this game? Probably not.
Nope.
Just given the way these teams look last night, but you make it a lot more interesting.
You don't lose 5-0.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, at least 5-1. In the 17th minute, San Diego's settling back into the Austin half here, and they play, again, the pattern that we've seen so many times from this team in the last year and a half. It's McVeigh hitting it forward to the striker, Ingvartsen, as he's checking back to the ball. And Ingvartsen immediately taps it back to Soma, who just one-times it to Dreyer, who's in behind. And Dreyer had, again, started his run when the initial pass was made to Ingvartsen. So now the MVP runner-up is alone against Fatak. He slows up, allows Alexander to kind of fly past, and then before he can recover or the two closing Austin defenders can get there, Dreyer just curls a shot towards the far post, buries it past Stuver to double the lead, and now you're really in trouble.
Yeah, that's when we all kind of just like, oh boy, here we go, And this isn't a super easy angle for him here. This is a nice shot, puts it off his left foot. That's his dominant foot. That's what this dude does, and that's what Facu Torres has to do when he caught his moment just a little bit earlier here. And of all the players that were out there last night, I didn't feel worse for anyone than I did for Bradley Scott Stuver having to deal with this, because the defense was lazy and it was a step behind every single time. And as you've pointed out, which we don't really point out a ton of the movement from other teams and everything, but it was so prominent last night and such a pain in the ass for the Austin defenders to try to deal with. And they did not handle it well at all.
Yeah. We'll jump to the 32nd minute here as things have finally slowed down a little bit, but that's maybe also in favor of San Diego, now up 2-0 and content to just let Austin sit there and do mostly nothing. Here, Savovich and Dubersarski both complete short passes, to which I gave a quick hooray where we were watching. Ball ends up finding Facu, and Torres is driving forward over the midline, and he gets into that San Diego half and plays a through ball. It's intended for CJ kind of through that left channel. Somehow it squeaks by McVeigh, and now we've got a 2-on-2. But CJ puts a cross towards Mirtu Izuni and doesn't connect. And like, in the moment, we were pretty flabbergasted as to why Mirtu doesn't slide down here and try to redirect this into the net. Like we just saw 20-year-old or 19-year-old Vasquez finish a not too dissimilar pass from one of his teammates. And like, I do think, right, Mirtu's stride is not necessarily aligned with the speed that this pass comes in with, but CJ, to me, put this pass almost on a platter. Like, and this is really on Mirtu not being able to adjust himself to what was necessary to score on the play.
Yeah.
And like, maybe there's a little bit too in your mind where I'm sliding. Am I going to be sliding studs up into the keeper here? I think that's a fair thing to at least bring up in this moment. Still frustrating overall.
Yeah, he starts taking some choppy steps to try to line this up, but like it's not synced up here. I just think you got to run through this ball and whatever happens, you know what I mean?
Sure.
And like, we need to score a goal here. Obviously, it would have, it could have been a disaster. You go studs up into the keeper, potentially injure yourself, but we had to find a way to put something past Fari here and just get some momentum going. So this is two guys, who don't have a lot of time together.
Yep. 39th minute, Austin's able to generate a two-man counter here after regaining possession deep in their own half, and it's Torres again playing CJ in behind. So you got CJ going up against Manu Dua, and as Fodre gets to the 18, he's left of the target, and I thought Dua takes a pretty good angle here to force CJ into a tough shot. Faree's able to scoop that one up pretty easily, but like CJ also has to shoot this because nobody's with him.
Yeah.
And like at times, especially with this head coach, we know that those guys are being told, stay back. Like, we're not going to push everybody forward because it opens us up at the back. But like, now you're down two. Like, yeah. I think when you're at this point, like, you have to abandon some of those principles. And that goes to the coach, because if he doesn't tell those guys out there, then if they go away from what they're being told, then you can be, rightfully, right, benched by your coaching staff. So like, again, this comes back to, I did not see an adjustment. And like, maybe the thinking there is like, we got to stay compact. Maybe we can get some subs on in the second half and right, like pull a second one back. Mm-hmm. But I don't know, man, like, why not open things up a little bit? Because again, like, it's just, when in the last year and a half have we proven to been able to I don't think we've come back from down 2-0 against an MLS team, certainly to win, but even to draw, I'm not sure we've done it.
Yeah. I mean, also it's the personnel out there, right? Like, it's Duber and Sabo right in front of that back line. I know you're trying to say like push up Facu and Joe and everything like that, but like, that disconnect is what we were really upset about to start this season, where it's just like, there's plenty of times where Mirtu's just up there alone. And yeah, CJ has to take a crack here. Maybe you try to, go into Dua, bait him a little bit and get yourself a PK. But there's, like you said, there's nobody up there. There's no other option, really.
The 44th minute, yellow card to Bombino for a foul on Rosales. There was confusion on the broadcast. Like, I thought it was pretty clear that Bombino was whistled for the foul shoving Rosales while he was already out of bounds. Yeah. I also don't think that entire passage of play was worthy of a yellow card, but
me neither.
Bombino gets one.
Yep. I didn't think it was a yellow for sure. I mean, he is beat. Joe plays a nice little ball here, touches it around him, is clearly going to get to that rock first before he takes that little push. So I do think it's a foul. I didn't think it was a yellow, though.
And 2 minutes shown of stoppage, rather, in the first half. And Austin gets the last chance to get a foul on CJ that I know they review because I guess technically there's contact up top here. But CJ's just like running. Oni Valakari is just standing there, like gets barely, looks like his shirt brushes his nose and he goes down like he's been shot. But so nothing came of that, but it was the final kick of the half. And again, like, not a lot of hope going into the break.
No, and it's, it's quote unquote only two here, even though you've been dismantled and picked apart by this San Diego offense the entire half here. But yes, there is very, very little hope at this point that anything is going to go your way, again, because of who's out there, the situation, and the context.
Was no changes for either team at the half, but 25 seconds in, John Bell does blast a pass that's intended for Stuver going back, just out over the end line. So great start, boys. And also we noticed, a shout out to Jones, noticed that Mirtu Izuni changed his cleats at halftime and unfortunately was not the magic elixir we needed.
No, not at all. I forgot about this John Bell pass. Yeah, that was another like, hey, dude, are you ready to play, man?
Yeah.
And we had the Georgievich one earlier in the half as well, where he tries to do, that was the first half, right?
Coming.
Okay.
Yes. 53rd minute, Austin with, again, one of their more sustained passages of possession here, especially like for being in the San Diego half of the field. And Austin's working around the final third. They get turned away twice, but they keep the ball both times. And finally, they get in behind. Ball from Torres over the top to Rosales, and he just drops it back a yard to a charging Izuni, who one times it into the net to pull one back. A flag goes up for offside on Rosales, and certainly the correct call. It's not close. And I think the biggest bummer for this is that I don't think Joe needed to go anywhere close to as early as he did to have this same exact play happen. And again, it was going to be on if he waited.
Yeah, timing's just a little off. Everything was just a little off last night. You're a little out of sync, just not there. It clearly, obviously, the result is not your night, but everything was
Sabovich effect.
I don't want to pile on the guy too much. You saw Cagle in the Discord?
What? You saw him post the Beastie Boys as sabotage.
Yeah.
But go ahead what you were saying, because I think I have similar sentiments.
In regard to like piling on Sabo here?
Yeah. I'm starting to feel legit bad for him, dude. Because he's helpless.
Yeah. I mean, and it's like, but you also can't excuse it, because it's like, yeah, you're not good, man. Like, and like we talk about the effort stuff, the engagement and everything. And like the only thing we've ever been able to see from the guy is like, he'll take a hard foul, and it's just the pace of this league, the speed that it moves at, it just doesn't look like he can keep up with it. And like we've talked about his positioning before, his lack of awareness on the defensive side of the ball. And when you pair him with Duber is such a dude that needs a guy like Ilya or someone else in the midfield who's competent to make him look good. But when it's those two together, there is just absolutely nothing that you can ask for out of those two outside of like dropping somebody on a foul here. And like, I know I brought up earlier, like the one thing I potentially was looking at where it's just like, be upset with the lineup is Irvin over Sabo. But I understand if you're just trying to get anything on tape for this dude where you can get $20 for him, $100 where it just doesn't have to be, a full buyout for him. So I get that. And yeah, dude, I think I said it 2 weeks ago where I was just like, I'm starting to feel bad for the dude because like, we had the mom in Miami.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know what I mean? It's
there's just nothing. There's literally nothing positive to say about him, and like he just has to keep going out there when we're in these shorthanded situations. And like, again, it's like you got to get him out of here for his own sake, for his career, so it doesn't completely crash and burn here, and he can continue to play professional soccer somewhere that's not here.
Yeah, for sure.
54th minute, Dreyer receives a ball over the top. He runs it down on the end line, beating Jan Kolmanich to it. Dreyer then is able to drag it out towards the corner, gets Svatok to pursue him out towards that flag, and then also draws in Gallagher to the ball before splitting those two guys with a pass to Mighton. And Mighton squares it to Soma. Soma's got space, top left corner, the 18. The 20-year-old takes a touch towards the middle of the pitch before uncorking just fucking laser, dude. Ping it off the far post. 3-0. I don't know what Brad's supposed to do with that. Like, I think most keepers are getting beat by that shot. And I have more smoke for the back line. Like, how do you guys get fucking dragged out to the corner?
Yeah.
Double team.
Yep.
Easily split.
Yep. And
then where the fuck is Kolmanich on this? Like, I don't even know. I don't think he was even the closest guy anywhere close to Soma in this instance. But, like, he ran Dreyer down initially and then disappeared. Like, I don't know, man. It's just a fucking mess back there. If we're not able to set up the 11 with like the exact 11 guys that we need that can play coherently together. And that is on the coach. Anytime you rotate, dude, San Diego rotated last night.
Mm-hmm.
They got these three young kids that they never start. Mm-hmm. And like, I know they do sometimes, but like between those three guys I mentioned, Soma, Vasquez, Sargent, it's like 10 career starts at the MLS level between those three guys. So like, how can they rotate like that and still look as competent as they are? And as soon as we change one fucking thing, it just falls apart. That's, again, like not all of our players. Like even though we, again, piling on Sabovich and a couple other guys who have been less than impressive. But overall, we have a team of players that, me personally, I think are pretty good from a talent perspective. And so, again, like we're talking about in the preseason, it's on the coach to figure out how to make these guys fit together and make your young guys or guys who play less throughout the season, when you do rotate, look like they have some semblance of competency out there. Like they've been instructed on what they're supposed to do, or they've practiced together before. Maybe you change up some teams during the scrimmage and practice. And I know they do that, but again, it's not good enough. And in a situation like this, for me, that falls on the coach.
That's fair. He definitely doesn't escape blame for last night and everything. You think Kolmanich is a good player?
No, I didn't. Don't make me list out of all 30 guys of where I ranked them here. We can do that on Sunday. We can break down Roto's performance too if we want to.
For sure. to your point, right? And a trend we have been seeing as of late were these amount of big chances being created from the other teams. And we talked about if you're going to be giving up a ton of big chances, you gave up 4 last night, eventually you're going to get tagged. And you got tagged last night. This is a great shot by Soma. There's nothing for Brad to do here. But again, a step slow, a step late. And when you're a little slow and a little late and your structure is waning because of the guys who are out there, to your point, not feeling like they've been coached up to the level that they need to be, and you're going to get your ass beat, and you got your ass beat.
57th minute, now down 3. Austin quickly breaking in this moment through the San Diego defense. Just 2 passes, and that second one is Rosales to the foot of Izuni. Mirtu turns. He's got space to drive towards net. Takes a shot from outside the 18 that might as well have gone to Mars.
Yeah.
Like, this is just, again, like, are we falling back to the level of Mirtu that we came to expect since the PK last game? Look, all I'm saying is, and again, like, very reactionary sports fan type of take here, but like, after the pen, he mean mugs the fucking Wonderwall. Mm-hmm. Then he doesn't shoot and tries to pass back to Christian Ramirez, which was a very, like, eerily similar to a lot of things we saw last year. And then I had a stinker last night, man. Like, can't get down for that CJ. Again, like, we know you're going to have limited chances. And, like, to not be able to put this one on target, I know it happens. But, like, again, like, the role you have signed up for with this team, you signed the contract too, man. And in that role, we need this to be a little bit closer. Shoot, aim for the moon.
You know, this has never really been a part of his game. You know what I mean? Like, to expect, you know, him banger goals from outside the box or what have you. It's just not part of his game.
I guess
it isn't.
It's had a couple. One was against
outside?
El Paso. Yeah, El Paso outside the box. I think he bounced it in too.
I don't know. I'm not ready to step into that kind of. I know. Are we going backwards with some Mirtu stuff here? Because we talked about his role too as a poacher and stuff like that. That those are those chances, like you said, hard to come by, and trying to capitalize off of them. Got to find a way, but at this point, I don't know who's engaged from the 11 guys who are out there, because it just looks like shit.
I can tell you one guy who's not, because off that goal kick, San Diego takes it quickly and home team goes the other way. There's advantage played after an Austin foul that we don't see on the broadcast due to them replaying Izuni's space ball. And all of a sudden it's 3-on-2 at the back. Dreyer, Ingvartsen, Sargent against Bell and Sabovich. Advantage home team. Dreyer plays Ingvartsen into wide open space on the overlap. 6 yards out. Stuver, probably his best save of the night here. Just point blank range against a guy who double-digit goals now, at least 9 with Ingvartsen.
I think he's double-digit, yeah.
Stuver, though, livid. And rightfully so. And dude, when they do show the replay of how this fucking thing built up, John Kolmanich starts 5 yards in front of Rosales when they both start to run back. Joe beats him to the 18 by 15 yards.
Yep.
And which one of these guys has played 10 times the minutes this season?
Yep. Which one of these guys should be fighting for minutes? He's trying to get out of a logjam at the left back position. Which one of these guys has the golden foot? And it's like, what else do you fucking do? Well,
Duber also jogging, to be fair.
But
like there was a couple other times on the night where like it didn't seem like Jean was giving the best effort we've ever seen out of him. So like I wanted to highlight him in this specific moment where you can absolutely go back and see the entire thing progress. This is something we've gotten on guys about in low moments almost every season, where you can, if we get an angle at something like this, and we've called everybody from Seba Driussi to a supplemental player out for this kind of stuff. So you get it too. This is terrible to put on film. And like, to your point, man, all of these guys who are getting the opportunities to maybe up their standing on the depth chart, nobody succeeded in that last night. And if anything, John Kolmanich, to me, knocked himself down a peg on the depth chart. Like, give me fucking Biru, Rosales, John Bell, left back, and John Gallagher. Man, especially if we're talking about defense.
Yeah.
Like, come on, man. And we got dudes that can serve balls in now. We got Facu, and we got Owen back now. So, like, what are we doing?
Yeah, a big step back for him last night for sure. And like this is the kind of stuff you said it. We will call out. We've called out Seba for lazy shit before. He was going through his rough patch where the team was fucking terrible. He's trying to do everything for us. He was dealing with some injuries. There was plenty of times where this was lazy. And like seeing this was sad, man. You're down 3-0 already, and this is the effort you're putting forth and leaving poor Bradley Scott Stuver out on an island to just be like, hey man, fucking deal with this stuff because I'm checked out.
Yeah.
And like, with Nico and everything like that, yes, there's blame to be had. For me, I'm taking this dude out of the game. Get out.
Yeah.
Get out of the game, man.
Except no, fuck that. You stay out there for him.
Word, be punished with that. I get that. Okay. Yeah. It's just like this was inexcusable. You saw it was clear as day. He's walking.
Dude, Rosales and holy shit, this guy every game is doing something. Like Rosales is my favorite player that's not Brad Stuver right now. Like the fucking effort that this guy is putting in for this team.
Loves the game.
Loves the game.
Yep.
Wants to win.
Yep.
He's down 3-0, busting his fucking ass.
Yep.
And it's supposed to be off the field in a minute.
Yeah.
And only has to stay because we get an injury.
Yep.
It's inexcusable, man. And like, I know we're like using this opportunity because it's easy to call out Kolmanich, but it's the whole game is we're compiling all the frustrations from watching 23 out there into this one moment.
He had the great cross, and then it was just like, what?
Yeah, where'd you go?
What do you do? Yeah, you know what I mean? And he's always had issues on that back line, the defensive side of the ball, since he started here in Austin. And like, this isn't a defensive formation, awareness, alignment kind of thing. This isn't I'm expecting you to be like Joe Rowe on the ball and be able to just like sneak a ball off of somebody and we're going the other way. This is you just not giving a fuck and wondering when your next haircut appointment is. Like,
we're back to haircuts? Shit.
I mean, he's someone's got to take the mantle after Rigoni here. He's up there.
Well, speaking of that injury, 61st minute, Stuver scoops one up, and he goes direct all the way towards CJ down the middle, and CJ's in another foot race with Manu Dua, trying to get this ball that ends up bouncing for Fari, who has come out of his 18-yard box, and he gets to it before either of those other players can reach it. And as he boots it, he catches CJ in the shins, and CJ stays down as Austin recovers that ball and builds back up again. Fodre climbs to his feet. That ball ends up going over the end line for a goal kick. CJ sits back down, and he's bleeding from the shins. Ref called the trainers on, and Owen Wolf, who was coming for Joseph Rosales, now is subbing on for Fodre. I think CJ's a little lucky he didn't break a leg there. We've seen collisions like that in this league over the last couple years. Snap dudes, shins.
Yep.
I think, like, for me, just like I look at these guys, especially like coming from like when I played youth soccer in the 90s, those big honking fucking plastic shin guards that strap around it's so much different now. But like, I do think where we should be is somewhere in the middle of 90s and these like shove a square of cardboard into your socks. You can do a little bit better to protect yourself too. But I'm glad CJ did not get seriously hurt here. It just looks like he had maybe a couple cuts, gash on his shin there. So hopefully he's ready to go, for Saturday.
And like a bummer because he was going to play 90 here. I wanted him to play 90.
So,
obviously, Joe Rowe's good. I wanted Joe Rowe off the field, get him off, have him ready for Saturday in some sort of role. And then like, let's just jump back to Kolmanich, right? We're talking about guys where it's like, hey, this is what you do well. We've seen the golden left foot. It's fantastic. We've seen CJ in the air. He's above average in there. He does that. CJ always busts his ass no matter what, no matter the score line, no matter who we're playing, no matter where we're playing. You get it out of him every single fucking time. Kolmanich makes 3 times the amount that CJ does. Yeah. And he's one of those guys where it's like, can I work my way up this depth chart a little bit? With BV coming back now, obviously that drops Ramirez to your reserve striker and that dual striker kind of look there. And then CJ's on the outside of that. And same with Kolmanich. And who put some tape out there last night where it's just like, you're gonna be alive. You know what I mean? We're gonna get some activity out of you.
Yeah.
So, like, I feel bad for CJ in this moment because obviously being in the hometown, I think he's going 90 here. And it's just, again, to point to some of these dudes. And, like, I know you're higher on Duber than I am.
Long term.
He's got lazy shit last night, too. And we've seen lazy shit out of him before. And it's like, he's not a guy who has an above average skill set where it's just like, oh, you do this one thing particularly well. You have a bit of a specialty out there. But, like, a lot of guys last night, the effort was piss fucking poor. And that's inexcusable. You know what I mean? I talked about not being worried about it. I would be worried about some of these guys and the effort that they put forth last night.
I mean, until Duber can put 90 minutes out there, or even just like a 65-minute start out there on film that's not next to Ilie and it's a positive performance, then he's clearly not there yet.
Yeah, and he gets a longer leash than a Savovich because you're part of the plans moving forward.
Yeah. Flurry of subs here, 66th. Godoy and Verhoeven come in for Soma and Sargent. 3 minutes later, triple sub for Austin. Ramirez, Irvin Torres, and Mateja Djordjevic on for Zuni, Facu, and Svatok, which you love to see in this moment because after that third goal, man, we are thinking about Saturday, at least where we were. And I know Coach said in the postgame, I believe, that like all these subs were planned, right? Like we rarely take our two DPs off the field and taking them off there. Like to me, it's you didn't do it quick enough.
Yeah, no, I would have got him out earlier as well. This game's over. It's out of hand. You've shown no sign of life. You've shown no fight, nothing overly threatening on Furry here or that defensive unit. And like I've been on teams before where I've been down the depth chart and what have you. I've been on teams where I've been at the top of the depth chart. And like when you're one of those guys who are on the fringe here and like you're looking for stuff, man, you got to be able to do something to push this team forward a little bit. And like you're outmatched, you're outgunned from the start of this game. I totally fucking understand that. But again, the fight wasn't there because a lot of these dudes are fresh as fuck. Sabo hasn't played. Duber hasn't played. Kolmanich hasn't played. You got the John Bell minutes in the game before and everything like that. Like CJ hasn't played. Like, you know what I mean? Like these guys were fresh as hell. You should be ready to go.
74th minute. Just wanted to note here. There's Owen gets taken down and like weird fucking timing by the head official here. Second time he did that on the night too. There was one time where like Savovich got fouled so hard he like flew out of the screen. And, like the foul comes or like the call is like 4 seconds later. There's no advantage on in either instance. So it was like a weird brain fart there, habitual brain fart, I guess, by the official. A minute later, you get Micah Burton on for his second first-team appearance in for Joseph Rosales. So, like, fuck, man, we had to run Joe 75 instead of 60. It's just nothing went right last night. 76th. Here's where Djordjevic almost Kip Kellers. Trying to play it back to Stuver, and Marcus Ingvartsen just reads the body language of Djordjevic here and charges right into that passing lane. And because Mateja, like, he either scuffs this or just puts too little oomph on it. Ingvartsen able to get there before Brad and luckily puts it into the side netting. But, like, Jesus Christ, man. Djordjevic, another guy where, like, again, like, I didn't hold the Louisville game against him in terms of his individual performance. He didn't look good, but we had not, again, we don't know when this guy had ever played right back. Apparently he had before then. But, like, that last night, again, like, you got to be more crisp than that, man. Like, clearly these San Diego guys are not laying off, like, because they've been down. They've been so much further down than us in the last 10 games.
Yep.
So, like, these guys are hungry and want this ass beating to continue. Like, they're having fun. And you got to be on your shit. And he's a sub. Yeah. He just came on, dude.
Inexcusable, man. And, like, you know, I understand playing out of position in the Louisville game, but you still looked like absolute dog shit in that matchup. You come into this game, you're fucking asleep. And for this to happen, just to kind of softly roll this ball back, I don't think he scuffs this. This is just a soft kind of like, la-da-da, you know, we're out here, we're playing, we're down 3-0 kind of pass, in my opinion, because there's no pep on this. There's no, like, real intent to be like, I got to get this back. We got to get the fuck out of here. So you get lucky. Poor Brad.
77th minute. Some good defense by Owen Wolf to jar the ball loose from Godoy, and Wolf pokes it to Irvin Torres, who takes off ton of space. 3-on-3 break here. Ramirez to his right, Burton to his left. Irvin opts to take the shot from about 20 yards out and forces Fari to get down to his right for the saves. Solid shot from Irvin. Good contact.
Absolutely. Love to see that. That's something where you come into the game, you're ready to go. Look at that. The teenager.
Have we seen a Savovich shot like that? Like maybe, but like that's it's up in the top ranks of the Sabo shots. Irvin's like first shot ever.
Yep.
79th minute, Austin back in possession here, and they find Kolmanich with space on the left. He whips across towards the back post. That Fareed whiffs on. Ball falls right to the foot of Micah Burton, and his first touch just betrays him. Maybe a little bit jittery there. Find yourself in a position to take a shot on net. Doesn't get one off. San Diego able to outlet the ball to Dreyer, of all people, who first misses a chance to find Mighton, who's just alone on the opposite side trying to counter here. But San Diego settles in again into possession, and Valicari finds Dreyer, who's now running in behind. It's really easily, man. Progresses things back into the Austin 18. Couple quick passes open things up for Bombino in behind. He finds Ingvartsen, who is once again cutting right across the face of John Bell. This time Ingvartsen finishes 4-0 San Diego, and we're not done.
No, we're not done. John Bell, rough one, man. Really rough performance for him last night. I know he's got the lowest rating on the FOP mob and everything. You can read into that whatever you will, but like we talked about from the start, face cut, guy beating you. And this happens here.
Start the second half. Kick it out of bounds, 50 yards away.
Yep, not good.
79th minute, Austin back in possession here and find 82nd rather after the goal. Triple sub, San Diego. Victory Cigars, Zamble, Alvarado, and Pilcher in for Dreyer, Valicari, and Bombino. For some reason, there's 5 minutes of stoppage time here. San Diego in the first minute get out on the break. 3-on-3. David Vasquez with the ball at his feet. Ton of space. Just takes it all the way into the box himself. Hits Djordjevic. Couple step overs. Blast it past Stuver with his left foot. Kid's got his first brace in his career in addition to his first professional goal, or at least first team goal. 5-0. Now the worst loss numerically in club history. And I did have a note that I made during the game last night in that 5th minute of stoppage time. I just realized Savovich was still out there. I think I had forgot for literally 20 minutes.
Yeah.
Austin does get a corner for the last kick of the game. Finds John Bell pretty wide open, jumping up there, skims off his head, out for a goal kick, and the final whistle blows. 42% possession for Austin. At the end of this one, it was 22 shots to 9 in favor of the home team. 10 shots on target to 3, of course, in favor of San Diego. Austin created 1 big chance and missed it. You already mentioned the 4 big chances for the opponent, and it was 6 corner kicks to 4 in favor of San Diego. Expected goals, FOP Mobs model 2.51 for San Diego, 0.66 for Austin. Expected goals on target, as usual, telling a better story, 4.2 for San Diego, 0.37 for Austin.
Well, I mean, that reflects it all. This was an absolute fucking ass whooping. And there was a lot of guys who just didn't cover themselves in glory last night, that's for sure. And once this started out with the 2 early goals here, you're just cooked. And you deserve to get your ass beat from the performance out there from a lot of guys, the effort out there from a lot of guys. This is what happens.
And I think I'm back to goals added is stupid.
That's a big 3 right there.
Top 3 for those listening to the audio version. Top 3 for Austin FC in goals added last night. John Kolmanich, Besard Savovich, John Bell. Huh?
Compare that to Dreyer with goal, Vasquez brace, and Ingvartsen brace, right? Did he have 2 or just 1? He had 1.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I don't know what that G stands for when it comes to Austin FC last night, but it's not goals.
No.
Gripes added? I don't know.
Yeah.
Not that quick-witted.
Yeah, good Lord. I don't know, man. This is, again, I'm coming back to it. The mission is still available this week. We still have the goal in mind, what we need to do and what we need to accomplish. Sometimes you got to take your licks. You took your lick last night. This was an ass beating.
Fucking right.
You played a team who needed a fucking win desperately. You're coming off your first like string success here with Austin with the 2 wins and the draw. And, midweek game, we saw scores of these, we're watching before and I haven't seen the scores of some of these other games. Midweek MLS is fun, man. There's some shit is always going down.
Yeah, I think it was a record for a match day in terms of the number of goals. I think 58.
Really? Wow.
I think it tied the record I think I saw. And we had 2 teams on bye. So
wow.
Yeah, It wasn't just the Austin game with crazy high scores, but I believe we did have the largest margin of defeat on the night. Game score 0.31. So by 0.01, not the lowest game score of the season, but immediate demand for the zeros on the game score. So we did collect those and factor them in here.
Louisville's the worst for me.
Louisville, yeah, no, for me as well.
Louisville is worse for me, so I'm fine with this rating. Get the 0.01, by a chin here or there and everything like that. This was an embarrassing performance, and I don't think it means much. I really don't. I don't think this is going to carry over into the weekend. I don't think the lineup that you're going to see is going to be affected by what took place last night. And you have to take care of your business versus what could be the worst team we have ever fucking seen since Austin has been in MLS.
Yeah.
So that's
worst team at the MLS level, at least, right?
Correct. Yes.
Yeah. Well, Coach, after the match, did start things off saying we feel ashamed about the result that we got today. We didn't come here to have that result. We prepare everything to get a better result. We apologize to the fans and the club and everyone that supports Austin because this is not how we should represent this club. Also talked about some of the personnel decisions. Did not select Biru because he is now on 4 yellow cards, so did not want him getting suspended before Saturday. Of course, Dessler resting for injury management, the 3 games in 7 days. He did note, right as we did on Monday's episode, that it's a different cadence from your normal game week because of the Sunday night soccer.
Mm-hmm.
Usually Saturday, Wednesday, Saturday, a little bit different than Sunday, Wednesday, Saturday.
And that's big. It's huge to have that extra day. You know what I mean? It doesn't sound like a bunch.
And San Diego had that day.
Exactly. It's big. And again, these are not excuses for what took place last night, but still there's exactly. It's reality.
He also mentioned we need one of the goals of last night was to make sure we didn't lose more players this week, which is, what he's saying, why we had such heavy rotation. But he also said after the 3rd goal, they, quote, kind of gave up on the game, which I think is the first time I've seen an Austin coach or one of the 2 ever admit to that. He said already planned those subs. They were going to come out early because if not, the performance team would not let them play on Saturday. I will also disagree with him saying that Farid could have been shown a red card just because CJ's shins were torn apart. I thought, and they were, the contact was there. Yep. I don't think it was dangerous by Farid. He cleared it out with plenty of space, and I like some of it, a little bit of it was CJ ran into him.
Yeah. It was bang play.
I disagreed with thinking that there should be a red there, maybe a yellow, but I don't know. It wasn't like Max Crapo. There was certainly not a direct goal scoring opportunity there.
Yeah, for sure.
And he also said San Diego deserved to win. They were much better than us. All we have to say is sorry, and we will quickly build up towards Saturday's game against Kansas. He also confirmed BHI out through the World Cup break, which expected, but now confirmed.
Yeah, for sure. And we're approaching the end of this first little part of the season here. We get to the World Cup. There's no reason to get overly aggressive with BV. There's no reason to get overly aggressive with Danny or Owen. Any of these guys, the last thing you fucking want is some sort of setback before this World Cup break happens. Yeah. I think if these were the last 2-3 games of the season and you're jockeying for position, potentially fighting for your playoff life, then yeah, you're going to see those guys. Brandon Vasquez is going to fucking be there. He's going to get time. Danny's going to be there. He's going to get time. Owen would get more time. I think you're setting these guys up for Saturday where you're going to see much more out of BV, and you're maybe not much more. You'll see more out of BV, and you'll probably see much more out of Pep.
Well, speaking about the the way things may have changed if this was the end of the actual regular season. For me as a fan, Nico's still on the hot seat. Like I said, like none of that's going to change for me until we get to the break and kind of reassess then. But I'm not sure he actually is with the club. And I think that lineup may be indicative of that.
If
you're coaching for your job, do you rotate like that last night? Like maybe some of the guys for the high performance, but like do you try to squeeze somebody else in there, like a Dessler or like a
no?
I don't know.
I wouldn't. I really wouldn't. Okay. I mean, like if that was one of the main priorities, main goals is to not have anyone get dinged up before the weekend here. I totally fucking understand that. I also don't think that this didn't have any input from the club as a whole in regard to what you were rolling out here, because we've seen what happened with Dessler, man. The Beer thing makes sense. You don't want him to get suspended. I get that. You're not going to start BV. You're not going to play him fucking 40 minutes in this game. Like, it's not happening. And when you talked about, the reality of this, where it was just like you had the one less day to recover to get into this Wednesday game, and then you have this looming game Saturday that is the most must-win game in the history of this fucking team. Like, it is. You lose that game, dude. Whatever. We're not losing that game. I'm not worried about
it. We had a listener question from our buddy Tej, and he said, "We have certainly lost a lot as a club since inception, but when is the last time we have had two stinkers as significant as San Jose and San Diego this close together, or even in the same season?" So, of course, we ran the numbers, E, and the answer is fucking never. Never. We've literally never lost by 5 goals until last night. And look, man, we've lost by 4 or more 2 times in the tenure of one Joshua Wolf, right? 4-0 at San Jose in 2021. I believe that was the bullshit questions game. 2024, 5-1 at RSL. We've now lost 3 times by 4 or more goals under Nico. April 12th last year was the 5-1 smackdown at Vancouver. And twice in the last 3 weeks. 5-1 against San Jose, April 22nd. 5-0 last night. Worst numerical loss on the scoreboard in club history. Again, it's a young club. So, like, when you have never lost by 3 goals at home, and we set that record last year under Nico, okay. But, like, to TJ's point, the Louisville, San Jose, San Diego, in a month,
rough.
Again, like, a lot of places, you get fucking fired for that. And like, I also got to say, man, the first portion of this season, especially the last month, has not made me feel better about our new fucking schedule pod next year. We got to play these teams twice every year. Fucking California teams killing us.
Yeah. That's going to be a fucking terrible draw if you get those clubs, man. God.
Shit, man. Anything else for you on this one?
I'm not worried about it.
All right, well, we'll move on and start talking about Sporting KC here.
Do you believe me yet?
Oh, man. Let's I'll toss it to you, E, because you are on the written preview here at the northendpodcast.com. Short turnaround, about 48 hours from now, we'll be kicking off at Q2 against Sporting KC. And as we have already described, and we'll dive in detail here, maybe the worst team we've ever seen at the MLS level here in Austin.
We will get there for sure. Going to give you the brief rundown, a little history lesson on SKC. Entered the league as a charter team in 1996 as the Kansas City Wiz. They were founded by Mr. Lamar Hunt, who also founded the AFL and the Kansas City Chiefs. So you should be familiar with that name if you're in the sporting world here in the Americas, which you are.
I'm gonna stop you too. Lamar Hunt also credited for saving MLS in the mid-aughts when it was really struggling, and I believe his name is on the Western Conference trophy, if I'm not mistaken. I think that's also the AFC, but I think it's MLS as well. I don't know, but there's a lot. Like, I think Lamar Hunt at one point owned like 5 fucking teams.
Yeah, no, he is a super prominent figure here in North American sports.
I mean, 5 MLS teams, dude.
Oh shit!
As he saved the league, I think he was like
just gobbled him up.
I think so. I'm not. We have to ask Phil West about that, our preeminent MLS historian.
Yeah.
But yeah, Lamar Hunt is a huge name in terms of like why MLS is still alive.
Absolutely. Rebranded in 2010 as Sporting Kansas City. Had some early success, won the MLS Cup in 2000 and 2013 as well, Supporters Shield in 2000 as well. Open Cup champions 2004, 2012, 2015, and 2017. The season before Austin joined MLS, they were first in the Western Conference. And now, if you've been following this team and everything, Sporting Kansas City has been one of the teams that we have been able to beat up on pretty handedly. They have not been a very good club since we joined. They finished third in the Western Conference, 12th, 8th, 13th, and 15th as well. Austin holds a 7-win, 1-draw, 3-loss versus this club. Most recent was a 2-1 comeback victory with CJ Fodra getting his first goal at the MLS level, and Owen Wolf scoring as well after
sick
Owen
goal on that one, right?
Sick goal. And that was after a Jovic PK earlier in that matchup. So this is a team that Austin has been able to handle since our introduction to the league here. And as we talked about, this team could very well be the worst club we've seen at the MLS level since we've been here. We'll get into little stats later. I don't know if there's anything you want to add to the historical context.
Well, it's kind of crazy that like this is the worst, not that this is the worst team that they've had, but because they've been so bad for the most part, like since we've been in the league. You mentioned right that first year they were still top half of the West, but like the last 4 years their goal differential is -50. Yeah. Like in that 23 season that you mentioned where they finished 8th, right? They won the wild card match and then they upset St. Louis, right? Geographical rival, expansion season St. Louis. They sweep them 2-0 in the first. That was the first year of the best of 3 series. But like overall, they've already been pretty damn bad for like almost all of our tenure here. And so like it is good that Austin has historically taken care of business against this team because we don't always do that against the bottom feeders.
True.
Wanted to talk about some of the players, like again, like hardly any big names that we're discussing here with this club, but like maybe some of the recognizable names. Eric Tommy went to the LA Galaxy in free agency, right? Robert Voloder, now like German center back. I think he played a little north of like 5,000 minutes across the last 4 years for them. Now with Red Bulls, went there in free agency. Logan Ndenbe was their U22 left back. He's now without a club after that contract expired. And Kyrie Shelton, Round Rock native, 7 of his 10 MLS years with Sporting. He is also now without a club, but age 32, so probably coming towards the end of a long career in Major League Soccer. And then like some of the players in, right? Stephen Cleveland, acquired from Austin in that trade. He's now taken over the starting keeper position. Calvin Harris is a forward signed in free agency after stints with Cincinnati and Colorado. He's leading this team in assists right now with 4 and scored his first SKC goal last night. Justin Reynolds, former U.S. Youth National Team defender, comes over from Chicago Fire in the offseason. Left back Jaden Reed came in free agency from St. Louis, who was originally a product of the Red Bull Academy. And then 2 other names to know that were added after the season began. Lasse Berg Johnson came over from Malmo in Sweden. He's got a goal and 3 assists in his 729 minutes. Given their lack of depth, was a plug and play right off the rip. He does have some good qualities, I think, in possession, but not like a team-changing type of addition. And then Kapita Kapemba, 23-year-old Angolan forward, acquired from Radomiak Radom in Poland. I'm sure Hudson can critique me there. Quick and dynamic winger also scored his first MLS goal last night. And as I'm talking about them scoring their first Sporting KC goals, they did win last night.
They did.
Against the LA Galaxy. So failed revenge spot, I guess, for Eric Tommy. And they also, underwent a big change. Head coach, front office. I think you've got some info on that as well.
Peter Vermees was, the staple there.
An institution.
Yes, really. From 2009 to 2025. I know that was he always the sporting director as well, or did he just kind of take over that a little more recently?
I want to say he took it over in like the middle of his tenure, but I don't think it was super recently, but I don't have the information in front of me at present. Either way, like, again, an institution.
Yeah, he was not doing both of those roles the entire time he was there. And as we mentioned, they had some success with Peter Vermees, obviously a legend here in MLS, not only as a coach, but a player as well, had a bunch of time in the league. 3.5 million euros for Lassi there, 2 million euros for Capita. So these were the guys they kind of brought in. I don't know if you want to pull up the roster sheet that they have, because it's probably the saddest one we've ever fucking seen. If you're watching here on the YouTube, I don't know what build this is. It's the 2-0. It's a 2-0-0. Yeah. 2. This is the 2 build. 2 DPs for Sporting Kansas City. One Austin fans should be very familiar with. One of our favorite players here in the North End, Dejan Jovalic, fantastic player. A guy that we got to talk a little shit to a couple of years back when he was with the Galaxy. He is absolutely, by far and away, their most important player, their best player, the guy who scores for them. He's got 6 goals on the season right now. He's dangerous from all kinds of different levels. He's really good in the box. He's crafty. He's a very good scoring striker in this league. Manu Garcia, their other designated player, has shown flashes at times. Not really a guy who pops off the screen when he's out there. They have no U22 initiatives. They have 2 TAM players. One is Berg Johnson that we highlighted there, and then Shapi Suleimanov, who's been there for a little while now. If you're looking at this YouTube and just seeing this, when this came out, they didn't even have a full fucking 20 senior spots taken up on this team.
They still don't.
Yeah, they still don't. So this is a team that is just devoid of talent at this point in time. We can talk about just how bad they are. They are worst in the league in average FOP-MOB rating right now. They score the least amount of goals per game. They have the second most goals conceded per match. They have the least amount of XG in the league. They have the worst XG differential in the league. They have the least amount of shots on target per game. They have created the second least amount of big chances in the league. They have won the least amount of corners. They have 0 set-piece goals. They have the most XG conceded, and they have the second most set-piece goals conceded as well.
So it's been tough sledding for them, huh?
Yeah, it's been rough for them. They're 2 wins on the year right now. They're sitting at 2-2-8. Have both been versus the Galaxy. So they have 8 points from their 12 contests thus far. Negative 22 goal differential. Worst in the league, as you might be able to incline from what we're talking about here.
So we have to point out, I feel like, that their only 2 wins have come over the Galaxy, like you mentioned. So 2 wins, no draws, no losses against the Galaxy, plus 3 goal differential. Against everyone else, no wins, 2 draws, 8 losses, negative 25 goal differential. And Austin lost to the Galaxy, so fuck.
Yeah.
Did I space out on you talking about Rafa Wicki, the new coach?
I did not. We got into Vermees, and then I was just looking at how fucking insane these
salivating at the chance to maybe score multiple goals here.
So yes, Rafa Wicki comes over from the incredible BSC Young Boys Club, one of the best teams in the world. One of the best teams in the world. He's obviously starting out this year after the departure of Vermees, 13 games under his belt thus far. And as I highlighted, it has not gone very well for him. Can't be too envious of the position he finds himself in with this roster and everything. But this is a guy who has experience, all over the place, U17 manager at the U.S. level as well. The young boys, as we talked about, he's bounced around for a while since 2013, but trying to find his home here in Sporting Kansas City, and the dude needs some help.
Yeah, was also a player, a successful one in his own right. Spent most of his career in the Bundesliga with Werder Bremen and Hamburg. But I just wanted to bring this up for you, E, that he had a short stint with your Athletic Madrid back in 2001. I think they were actually second. They were La Liga 2 that year. So Athletic Madrid certainly had better days since then. You mentioned all the stats, all of that stuff, man. I think like, have we painted a good enough picture here, a solid enough picture of like must win? Because again, like everything is on fire if you lose this game. And that's like, you set yourself up last night with that debacle from the start with the rotation, focusing on taking care of business in this game. So you have to go get it done.
Absolutely. And if you lose this game, I will say fire the coach. Okay. This is how monumental this game is for Austin right now. Is like I said, it might have been hyperbole, but like this is one of the most must-win games.
Hold on. Let me roast you for a second. Hyperbole.
Not when you say it like that.
Okay.
If it is a hyperbole, but you can speak in hyperbole.
Oh, really?
Yeah. It's a fast bowl.
Okay. That's what our fucking final darts game was last night, the hyperbole.
Oh shit, that reminds me of fucking Trailer Park Boys so much. Okay, it might have been hyperbole. Thanks.
I'm sorry.
Thanks, man. Yeah, come on. My spiel here. You have to fucking beat this team no matter what, dude. And like, if you're not able to do that, particularly what you said, where it's just like we set ourselves up to focus entirely on this matchup, then you have to get the job done no matter what. This is not the lineup that you're going to see, the one that's on the screen here. So don't get too worried about that.
You might see that from them on their side.
Too. Exactly. I was going to say, they don't have
Garcia gets back in.
They don't have a ton of options. There's not like we're looking at the roster sheets. They don't have a full team. So it's like this might be the guys that they roll out there. I do think Garcia will be out there. But for us, this is about Austin. We talked about how important it is to win games at home, win games convincingly versus teams like this. And this is a team that you have your chance to get your 5-0 win versus and have your part and do your thing, and where we can feel good and we can style on some guys. This is your moment.
When I think like some of my questions, or I don't know if we get a media availability on Friday or not, but like, does Jaden play? He was listed questionable, something we didn't mention before the recap. So I mean, it's an upgrade from him just being straight out. So it'd be, it would be nice to have his services available, even just off the bench. Does BV get more minutes here? I guess we can work in Mike's listener question here. Verdes Locos was asking, with Vasquez not traveling with the team, does that mean he is starting on Saturday back home at Q2? No. I don't think so, but I think it would be surprising to me if there was not an elevation of that minutes limit. It's 15 last weekend, so 20 minimum, and 30 could be in the cards. So again, like if it's 20, expect him to show up on the sideline at 75, trying to factor in 5-ish minutes of stoppage. I think, again, like I haven't changed my idea that I don't think he or Owen start before the break here, because it's just like not super necessary. Like if you can't handle these two teams, then like, you're not who we thought you were.
Yeah, I don't think BV starts. I don't think Owen starts. I also don't.
What about Danny?
I do think he can get a pep start. I think he can. With those first two guys there, it's just like I don't see the need right now. I don't want to rush them, have anything potentially go wrong, and then you're fucking dealing with a Ricky Pooch situation or dealing with a setback to Owen or what have you. So I'm not expecting a start from BV. I am expecting more minutes for him. I am expecting more minutes for Owen, and I am probably in the camp that Danny starts this game and plays significant minutes in this matchup.
Yeah, Dessler, Biru, Ramirez, Ilie, all back in there, right? And look, man, if you win on Saturday, you're on 10 points from your last 5, coming off the San Jose 5-1. I think we would have all taken that.
For sure. I mean, like I said, I don't remember when I said it on the episode here, but if I told you the start of the week, you got 4 out of these 3 games in 7 days, I think you'd feel good about it, and we still are approaching that point where you get the 3 here versus Sporting, and then you can beat St. Louis on the road. You can do it. So we got to focus on this matchup here. Some 6 points are available to close this out, and you could be feeling this could be a distant memory of the 5-0. We can come back to it and be like the worst loss in club history next season, or God forbid we we have another one of these performances, after the World Cup break. But like 6 points are available to you here, with 3 being non-negotiable in this matchup.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, look, this is the opportunity to, on the back of the worst loss in club history, to maybe have the biggest win in club history. Those goals are certainly out there. If Portland can put up 6 on this team, so can Austin. But I'm not predicting a fucking 6er here.
Yep.
But unless you have anything else to add, E, how much is Austin FC winning by on Saturday night?
4-0. It's a party. We're rolling.
All right. I got a 3-0.
Okay.
But again, like, legitimately, and we were kind of going back and forth about this last night. You were like, a fucking 1-0. I'm happy walking out of there. And I pushed back a little bit on that, but fuck, man, you just need the 3 points. So 4-0 for E, 3-0 for me. It could be 0.1 to 0. Don't care. However you bring 3 points home, we fucking need it.
Come on down to Farmer Field where the champions play. Get ready for the game. It's last business day.
Last business day here on episode 307 of the North End Podcast. Austin FC 2 taking on Rapids 2, last place Rapids 2 on Wednesday evening. And we got this lineup about 90 minutes before we got that first team lineup. And that was a indicator of what we were about to see with the Austin FC first team lineup, because no Irvin and Micah 90 minutes before that first team lineup. You're like, oh boy, here we go. But there's some other changes here. Saul got back in for Danchutu up top. Dobrahevich came in for Feliciano. Kenny Hott was in for the absent Irvin, and Diego Abarca in for Micah Burton. Also get Riley Thomas back in at right back for Daniel Chesla, coming off his man of the match performance. And Dren De Bruyne gets, I think, his second start, if I'm not mistaken. If it was his first, congratulations. But in for Pat Kaeli, who I think is his first rotation of the season here on a double game week for the second team. Getting into this one, a pretty quiet first half, 22nd minute. Bilo Jop, right, the big striker on the other side that we're familiar with. Yellow card, late challenge, sliding in to take out Kenny Hott. Like, speaking of Kenny E, I saw somebody point out this morning that, right, his name's Keenan Hott, and he goes by Kenny, which is not shorter, the exact same number of letters.
Yeah, but it's cooler.
No, I know. I just think it's funny. It was a funny thing to put. Come on, have some fun. Jeez, come on. You're getting all tense. We're getting closer to the fucking kickoff.
Why are you speaking in hyperbole?
First minute of stoppage, it was a yellow card to De Bruyne for a challenge, and then I think he gets the yellow for kicking the ball away after the foul here. But we go into the half. Double change for Austin at the half. One thing about Coach Shackle, man, he has not been hesitant to make sweeping changes at the half or early in the second frame. At halftime, Vlad comes in for Saul. Kaeli comes in for De Bruyne. 4 minutes later in the 50th, Jop gets a chance to attempt a bicycle kick here, rather, right in front of Eric Lauta, and is not able to connect. But Colorado was on the front foot to start the half, and that prompted another set of changes from Coach Shackle. Feliciano and Mo Badawia come in for Dobrahevich and Diego Abarca, and 2 minutes later, Austin earns a corner. And Jorge takes that from the far side to the broadcast camera, and Austin has 4 of their players who are in the box gathered around that back post. Another 4 scattered just outside the 18, top and short to that left corner. It's played short and then into the box where the Rapids clear it out, but Austin retains possession. Work it from Barry to Thomas down the right side, and Riley plays Mo through to the end line, where Badawia flicks it across the face of net towards a crashing Eric Feliciano at the back post, and it's hammered home. But apparently by the defender, because they do change this to an own goal. Don't care. We'll take it. But I do wish that Eric could have scored his first for the second team there, because he absolutely deserved it on this run.
Absolutely. This is a kid we're all really, really excited about, man. And, I like the coach's approach here, man. If you're seeing stuff out there, you want to make some adjustments, make some changes. It clearly paid off.
65th minute, triple sub for Colorado. Here comes Kamani Stewart-Baines, Strelnauer and Copeland in for Chantak, Strohmeyer, and Aquino. Right after those changes, Austin working it out of the back. Riley Thomas finds Dan Chutu dropping in, and Vlad receives that pass, turns over his left shoulder, splits two defenders to work his way into the Rapids half. Then Dan Chutu plays this changing ball forward around the back line, all the way right to left into the path of Feliciano, who settles it and drops it back for Mo Badawia trailing the play, and Mo takes a touch, sets up just a laser of a shot that he buries into that far top corner of the net to double the lead. His first professional goal, assisted by Feliciano. So the Mo to Feliciano connection last night on both of these goals. And again, two of our more exciting young prospects.
Yeah, excited about both of these dudes, man. And like awesome to see them combining here. And like you had the first one, it goes for an own goal, but still you saw the potential connection between those guys. And we've been high on Badawia since we saw him, in the preseason playing with the first team a little bit, and we've been high on Feliciano as of late and what he's been able to bring to the club. And overall, you've just been playing really, really well as of late, and that's awesome to see.
And so it was a 2-0 victory for the second team. The last note was in the 74th minute. There's a yellow card to the Rapids de Cotu. And as that is shown, Riley Thomas takes his seat. Daniel Chesler replaces him. Looked like his right leg bothering him, maybe hamstring, but I imagine it's that same nagging issue with Riley there that forces him out early. So a 2-0 victory. And again, I know this is a winless team, the worst team in Next Pro right now by their record, but you got the job done on a short week. And now you turn around and you're going to face St. Louis City 2 at home, a team that is above you in the standings right now, as we can go ahead and flip over to that game for the YouTube viewers checking out the table. Austin FC 2 after the Wednesday night victory up into third place in the West. 5 wins, 3 draws, 1 loss, plus 7 goal differential, 19 points. They do have a game in hand on this St. Louis City 2 team, but this St. Louis team, again, has been good year over year since they joined Next Pro. All-time head-to-head between these two. 2 wins, 1 draws, 5 losses for Austin. This match is 7:30 p.m. Sunday at Palmer Field. Last season, St. Louis 2 won both meetings in Austin, 4-2 and 2-1, and took the extra point home in the 0-0 draw in St. Louis last season. St. Louis 2 has won 3 straight at Palmer Field after dropping the first ever meeting between these two, 2-0. Back in April 2023, you can see on the screen, currently second in the West, 6 wins, 3 draws, 1 loss, 23 points from their 10 games, 21 scored, 12 conceded. They did just catch their first loss of the year, 4-1 at home against first place Dynados, but that was last weekend. So the St. Louis team, as I mentioned, did not play a midweek match. They're led in scoring and contributions by number 42. That's midfielder Palmer Alt. He's got 5 goals, 4 assists in his 10 appearances. Number 48, forward Riley Lynch, 3 goals, 5 assists in his 10 appearances. First team homegrown number 59, recognizable name Mikey Joyner, who came on for St. Louis's first team 2 weeks ago. He's got 3 goals in his 2 appearances. You probably don't see him, but if he's out there, that's the most dangerous player, unless somehow McSorley comes back, and I think Next Pro is in the rear view for Brendan McSorley. Still hate that guy. 62, Jamaican defender Jamon Barclay has 3 goals, 2 assists in his 9 appearances, but just 5 starts. So Barclay has been very productive. I think best overall player from a soccer standpoint, number 66, Zach Lillington on their back line, center back. He's got a shout for that. And it is number 41, Chris Pearson, wearing the armband. Last weekend against Dynados, it was number 22, that's senior roster defender Kyle Hebert, starting on the back line for the second team. St. Louis frequently uses their second team for rehab games for their first team players, so I would not expect to see Hebert here, but you could.
Yeah, I was going to say, correct me if I was wrong, but I feel like St. Louis City 2 has played a lot of St. Louis City guys at this level pretty often, which definitely leads into some of their success. But they have been a good club at the Next Pro level, like you mentioned, since they got into the Next Pro League here. With that 4-1 beatdown at Houston, man, I think that says something, right? Because we're looking at the top 3 in this Western Conference, Houston, St. Louis, and Austin there. Houston been fantastic all season long, and we were able to draw them. So this is a big game here coming up between these two teams.
Yeah, we'll certainly be looking at the lineup for can Riley Thomas start or even be active, right? Or is he going to get this game off dealing with that injury? Glad to see Jacobaro played this one on Wednesday as well after he came off early in the previous match. Hope he can start again. Waiting on an update on Charlie Farah with that shoulder. Eric Lauta still doing a bang-up job. I would think coming back home for the first team, we see Irvin and Micah back in with the second team on Sunday. And shit, man, give me more Eric Feliciano and Mo Badawia, please.
Please. Would love to see it. Keep developing those guys.
All right, unless you have anything else to add here, E, how much is Austin FC 2 winning by on Sunday night?
I'm going to go 2-1. You know, I like this St. Louis team, but Austin is super hot right now. Been playing great. I love what I'm seeing out of them. I love how the coach has been, changing these lineups, getting guys in and out. And like you said, you should have Micah and Irvin back there to help out. So I think you're going to have your choice lineup and you're going to handle business 2-1.
I like it. 3 straight wins for FCito. I'm going to go a 1-1 draw here, though. But Austin picking up the additional point in the PK shootout. So 1-1 draw for me with the additional point. 2-1 win for E. And, of course, we like that prediction better. Don't care how you get it done, boys. Protect home field and bring us 3 points. E will close it out with the nonsense. Midweek picks are in. And, hey, got off the schneid in the pick'em entry. You hit the first pick'em entry since week 1. So we are now there's plus 6.21 units on the day, rather, now plus 2.13 on the pick'ems this season. You go to the books, we take a little step back. The fire simmers down a little bit, minus 4.87 units at the books. So plus 2.13 with the pick'ems, still plus 21.88 units at the books. More picks coming on Saturday morning. Best Ball, Verde Best Ball League, soccer-wise, wins Week 12 with a 70, but a 66 from the north end up into third over the Verde Pendant. Just 20 points back now of soccer-wise in second and a 41 from We Are Austin. Still a large gap for them at the top, but we're under that triple-digit mark, E, so slowly but surely trying to climb back into contention here. Verde all day, 49, still right there in fifth, and Moon Tower looking for a spark before the break.
I mean, Jeremiah should have drafted, huh?
Yeah, that is the key, I guess, right? Using Landon's notes.
I don't know the data.
What was it? ABCD. Always be collecting data. Patreon leagues, Sentimiento League, Aries with the big Week 12 win, closing that gap on the Birdman up top 4 in the Sentimiento right now. Birdman, Aries, Mace, and Cesar. Heartbeat League, ZG wins Week 12, but Peach maintaining that first place spot, top 4 in the Heartbeat right now. Peach, Tim Thompson, ZG, Mike Crignola, and then Rooted League, E wins Week 12, increasing that overall lead. Top 4 in the Rooted League, E, Turbo Trevor, Schnorb Jones, and our buddy Logan. So we look at the overall standings. Again, top 8 overall scoring teams will qualify for our Premier League next year as we move to a Pro Rel format. In the Best Ball Pyramid, top 8 right now, E up top. What is that, a 40-point lead, 50-point lead for E right there? I think that's 40. That's 40. Math. E, Birdman, Peach, Turbo Trevor, Schnorb Jones, Logan, Statman, and Aries is the line right now. ZG 9th, 10 points back of that 8th place spot. First 4 out, ZG, Mike, Mace, and Cesar. Have not calculated those scores yet. Gonna burn my eyes once again because E nailed 2 hat tricks.
There was a point in time where I had, I think, like every goal that had been scored in the early
and it was like almost an hour in.
Yeah.
So we will calculate those best ball scores. Those will be posted on Friday. We will discuss them in the nonsense portion on Sunday. Sunday coming back, recapping the game against Sporting KC and deep dive in that salary release as well. Don't want to, leave the sickos out to dry. I just wanted to, again, just talking about these fucking games, almost an hour and 40.
Yeah, we could have gone for 2.5 hours if we added that in there. So looking forward to it. Looking forward to being at the Q and looking forward to 3 fucking points. Let's party. Let's have a good weekend.
Couldn't have said it better myself. We appreciate you tuning in, sticking with us here on episode 307 of the North End Podcast. We're back on Sunday discussing all of those things I mentioned, so enjoy the rest of your week, everybody. We'll do the same. We'll see you at the Q on Saturday and back here for another episode on Sunday. Till then, he's E, and I'm Zach. Vamos Austin FC, everybody. Goodbye.